that link and to the 800 number that you gave us, the 888 number that you gave us. And thank you so much, Martin, for being on the show with us today and for giving people this very important information about what's going on with our local economy and our homes.
Well, thanks for having me here.
No problem. I'm here with Marianne Hughes, who is the Executive Director at Community Pantry in Hollister. And we're going to talk a little bit today about how the community is being affected by this economic downturn. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization and what you do?
I'd love to. Thanks for having me. Community Pantry started about 20 years ago almost as a supplemental food program. And we deliver bags and people pick up bags of food on a weekly basis at our place. In the last few years, we've spread out a little bit more, and we are now doing nutritional classes, and we're helping with food stamp outreach. And we have a couple of outreach programs like the backpack program for schools, and we're also helping other agencies that support the kids in need in our community.
And you work in coalition with other groups and resources in Hollister as well.
Yes, we do.
What are some of the other groups that you work with?
Well, we support the Hollister Youth Alliance, their after-school programs, Fishes and Loaves, which is an emergency program for people who need food right now. Also, we have some transitional housings in town that we support. And Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, you know, those troops that are in the lower income areas.
So what is the need in Hollister in terms of, what's the state of poverty in Hollister, and how are people being impacted by this new economic crisis?
Well, you know, I'm sure you're aware, for the last 5 years we've had a moratorium on building. That has already caused our community to lose business, lose jobs, and not gain any, obviously, because nobody can build or increase the size of buildings or whatever. So in addition to the current economy, we've already had 5 years of no growth, essentially. So a lot of people were waiting for that moratorium to lift so that everybody would start building again and everything would be beautiful. Unfortunately, having gone through the downturn, and now we're very high in the number of foreclosures in our county, it's actually the opposite. So we're having a double whammy. Not only the perfect storm. Oh yes, absolutely. They just lifted the moratorium last month. Anyway, so we have a lot of clients, of course, who, like everybody else, have lost money and valuation in their retirement and all that kind of thing. But this all really affects a trickle-down situation, because those who are lowest on the income level are always closest to the edge, of course. So if they get their hours cut back, or if one of them loses a job, they don't have a lot of savings to fall back on.
There's no buffer there for them.
Not at all.
There's no safety net. What is the level of just normal level of poverty in, who's under the poverty level? I thought it was somewhere around 10% in Hollister. Is that right?
No, actually, in 2006, Second Harvest did a hunger study, and they determined that there was about 25% of our population that was food insecure at the poverty level. And a UCLA research issued a survey that said it was 31% more recently. And now with the layoffs, et cetera, I think we must be in the 30 to 35%.
That's a huge percentage in a community, and vastly affecting so many other aspects of the community, I'm certain.
It is. You know, we have some meetings where a lot of us who do social service work get together. And recently we kind of did a round table, and as families develop more stress, and you don't get hungry in a vacuum, other things are going on. Parents lose patience, kids get hurt, more domestic violence, you know, all those kinds of things start building in the community, and it makes it a harder and harder place to live.
Yeah. And of course the number of foreclosures is pretty high in Hollister as well.
Absolutely, we're well over, I think it's near 2,000.
Wow. And that was just in 1 month or in a couple of months here?
No,
the
over
recent
the
months?
course of the last 6 or 8 months, I would say.
6 or 8 months.
That's a lot of houses for us.
So what are you seeing in terms of the community problem that's happening right now because of that double whammy, and what is the need in the community?
Well, you know, anecdotally, about a year and a half ago, I was at the front desk because it was lunchtime for our intake person, and a woman came in and wanted to fill out an application to join our membership. And she filled out the form, and I was asking her some questions, and I kept looking at her name thinking, I should know this person. I know this name, but I don't know the person. I must have looked at her a couple of times because she said, I used to be a donor.
Wow.
And I went, oh, that's why I know your name. I see all the checks, of course. And my stomach dropped. You know, it really became visceral. And that has happened numerous times since. So it's people who have been working for 25 years or 30 years who don't have a job now and can't find one. They're a little bit older, so they're not the fresh stuff on the block, so to speak. And so it's difficult. And when you're used to taking care of yourself, and you may have some, you know, you have things you own that you've built up over the years, and if you own too much, then you don't qualify for very much help. Absolutely. And yet, if you have a big truck right now, and who's going to buy it? And
right,
how do you get rid of it?
And you can't sell your house.
Can't sell your
11
house.
months is the average
Can't
house
sell
sale.
your motor home.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, how difficult.
So it really becomes problematic for them. So we only look at income, not assets.
Yeah.
So we're there.
So would you say that the number of people that you're serving has doubled? Has it tripled? How?
In 2 years, it has doubled.
It has doubled. And in the last 3 to 6 months, I would imagine that need has grown.
It has gone up about 35% in the last 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I think people probably have a stereotype of who comes to a food pantry or food bank.
They do.
And it's probably not someone who recently got laid off from a tech startup, which is what you're really reporting that you're seeing in the community of Hollister.
Absolutely. Most of the growth is coming from people who have never asked before. Of course, there are people who continually are on the edge and always will need our help.
Right.
Those numbers are small compared to the numbers of people that we are seeing now, and the families. We serve about 5,000 people a week.
Wow.
And half of those are kids.
Wow.
They're children, not just lone adults who are choosing lifestyles that we might question, but we're talking about families now, more and more.
We have to wrap up now, but I did want to mention that you had said to me off camera that this was one of the most successful community drives that you've done for your food bank.
Yes.
In history.
Absolutely.
So you found in this time of people having greater needs that more people are willing to give to the community, and what a great comment that is about Hollister and the community that we have here in this area. So thank you so much for being on. It's been very enlightening, and look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for being on the show. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of Depth of Field. We hope that it's been informative, and if you have suggestions for other Depth of Field programs or even on the economic series, please visit our website at www.cmap.tv or give us a phone call at 408-846-4983 for show ideas or just to give us feedback about this program. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.